And we are in the action. Welcome, everybody. House Party 5v5 Saturday League kicking off on week 3. Got our first game of the night streaming for everybody. On the blue side,
the blue side.
let's stand by here. We got some technical difficulties.
Alright. I wasn't sure if that was like some kind of like pause because you wanted me to jump in there, take the reins, grab the horses by.
We're off to a great start here, folks. Off to
by
a
the chariot.
wonderful start.
You know that I ride my chariot into battle. That's how I also go into my League of Legends games. I have my own chariot.
Joining me in shoutcasting today is my good friend Donkey Splinter.
No, I'm not.
We are always happy to have you.
Not so much. Sometimes. Not always.
Always.
You're like my grandmother. Always happy to see me.
Sounds like a classy lady.
She is. She drinks her martinis up.
All right, then. On the blue side, going to be the new Exalt. On the red side, going to be Rebel Force. So Rebel Force, brand new team to the league. Trying to pick up where the last team exited and get going. We've got a lot of new players on that side. Chocolatine, Space Curtain, Snugglebear joining Odin's Son. Wanger going to be substituting this week.
Is he substituting this week and becoming a permanent member eventually, or is he just our substitute for this particular week?
He is going to be Rebels Force's substitute for this week.
Okay. Then I will forget about him after this history. I'll be like, Wanger.
I believe he is taking the place of Generation Blue.
Gotcha. And so the team names again were New Exalt and...
Yes, we had the new Exalt on the blue side and Rebel Force
Rebel
on
Force. Okay,
the
that was
right side. Go ahead and put those team logos up there, and there we have it. Bands coming out on the blue side, Thresh, Jinx, Blitzcrank. Red side, Jarvan, Irelia, and Azir. Interesting Blitzcrank choice on the bands there. I'm wondering who they were targeting.
I think when you see the double pull supports going down, I think that's just, they're trying to avoid playing around the all-in supports. You see the Corki being picked into that. So he just wants a safe lane. He just wants to be able to poke. He doesn't want anyone to all in him, so to speak. So I think they're just trying to get a more or less a pretty safe spot lane for Corki to ramp up. That's the game plan.
Fair enough. Wilson Jones gonna have his Nidalee available, but I'm not sure if he's going to want to take that in this current composition. If you take a look at the new Exalt roster, Wilson is set up as mid laner, and that may be why Rebel Force decided not to ban his main champion right now out. He's been taking that Nidalee into the jungle mostly.
Nidalee jungle. The first time I heard it, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a very funny joke that a friend of mine was pulling on me. And then I saw some Koreans do it, so of course, it's got to be legitimate.
It's legit when the Koreans do it,
yeah. We are like the forerunners of North American League of Legends meta. They're like, if the Koreans are doing it, if they're running AD Karthus support, okay, we got to do it too, because as Faker decrees, so must we abide. That's what I know.
That's a pretty good way of putting it. I really like that. As Faker decrees, so we shall abide.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna, as soon as I learn how to cross stitch, that's gonna be the first piece that
I'm okay.
Like well, really stuck on it. Or
it's a nice stress-relieving habit.
Yeah, I don't know. I need new stress-relieving habits. League of Legends is sucky.
Oh yeah, definitely League not very good in that department. Wanger going to be picking up the Janna for support on his side. Chocolatine going to be heading into top lane with the Vladimir and, of course, Nautilus for Odin. Interesting choice on Odin there. Is he planning on... I'm not sure where he wants to go with that. Odin's Son marked down as Rebel Force's mid laner. Of course, he may be picking that up for Space Curtain. Space Curtains is the registered jungler for Rebel Force. So we'll see if they end up swapping those out. I'd be really surprised to see Nautilus go in mid lane.
New meta.
Of course, Simple Baggins picking up the Vi. Vi's so strong right now. So strong.
You love her. She fits a comp. She fits a comp, okay? If your job is, or if your goal is to try and isolate one target and pick them off, or if you have a whole team full of like kinky divers, then Vi is the go-to champion. But
sure,
not so great in team fights. She just blows up. And if you have anyone who has like any kind of like reliable CC, or even like Janna, you know, is a really good champion to pick against this, because Vi goes in, the rest of the team tries to follow, Janna knocks everybody else back, Vi's on an island, and usually the team can one-shot her. So, very tricky to play. So we'll see how it goes.
That's a really good point about Janna. The fights have the potential of going very badly for the new Exalt. Simple Baggins ults in, and the rest of the team tries to follow, and Wenger just pushes everybody back, and they end up eating Sinful. That could be pretty disastrous. I think it's a really great pick from Wenger.
Yeah, Janna is just a top tier support right now, just because so many champions, so many comps are built around the all-in dive. So she's like, bar none, the best champion to run it.
Looks like Schnugglebear is going to be taking the Vayne into lane. Not a bad choice. Haven't seen Schnugglebear play for quite a while, so I'm not sure where he's at mechanically. Vayne's one of those champions that's not very user-friendly if you don't have the mechanics for it, but we'll see what Schnugglebear tries to pull off. He's going to be up against Synonym and Mycroft in that bottom lane.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, but I think it's a pretty even matchup. So I think that Corki obviously spikes earlier and the harass is better, but if Vayne can farm, then she wins the mid to late game.
Well, we'll see how it all goes down. We are heading into the delay right now. Your casters will be taking a short break, and we'll get back with you guys as soon as we hit the rift. Alright, welcome back, folks. We are getting into our first match of the night. New Exalt on the blue side versus Rebel Force in our third week of our Saturday League games. Thank you for joining us. My name is Anson. I will be shoutcasting games for you tonight. Alongside me, my valued co-host, Donkey's Puncher. And we'll be getting into the action here shortly. Both teams setting up for the start of the game. Got some wards across the river from both sides. Looks like it's going to be a red start for Sinful Baggins on his Vi.
Minions have spawned.
Meanwhile, Space Curtains looks like he's going to be taking out the Gromp on his end.
So I don't know what it is, but at the beginning of every game that we play together, that we queue up, I'm like late to join the game. 1 second.
Jungle minions spawning, and Snugglebear Wanger gonna help Space Curtains out on his Gromp. Sinful Baggins left to deal with the golems by himself on that bottom side. He'll be transitioning over to his red buff. That's gonna open up a possible gank path for mid lane or top lane, I'm guessing. Maybe where he'll be putting his focus at first. Synonym and Mycroft duking it out in the bottom lane with Wanger and Snugglebear. Rigel Q and Chocolatine really putting a lot of early damage down onto each other, both chugging away at those potions.
I don't know what's going on with my game right now. For some reason, I'm stuck at the load screen. Everyone's loaded, but
We'll get that sorted out shortly.
I'm working on it.
Tornado going across just misses Synonym, and Snugglebear won't get the third proc on his silver bolts there. That's going to negate quite a bit of damage that could have been traded back toward the blue side. Chocolatine is on top of Rigel, but Snuggle is here with the gank. First blood ends up going over to Chocolatine, though. Rigel just getting caught in the middle of that minion wave. Just wanted that one a little bit too badly. Ended up paying for that. Sinful Bag is going to hold that lane out. Space Curtains stepping up to provide some support in case he goes back in. Sinful ended up burning his flash for that gank there and didn't connect with it. That one's going to be down for him.
I'm in the game. I'm here. I'm caught up. 4 minutes in. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties every time, I swear.
Fabulous. Are we both on the same page? I'm at 4:12, 13.
Yep.
All right.
We are good to go. First blood handed over to Vlad. It was just a 1v1 kill versus the Jacks. That is Bad News Bears, I think is the name of the movie that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Rigel was about to receive a gank from Simple Baggins. I just think he didn't time things well enough. He went way too ham onto Chocolatine there. And really, New Exalt have to be careful that they don't underestimate Rebel Force. Rebel Force definitely the underdogs going into this match just based off their solo queue ratings. No one on their team any higher than gold at the moment.
Well, here's the thing, is that if you're not careful, Vlad can run away with this versus the Jax. Because Vlad just has more consistent... Oh, there it is.
And there's kill number 2. The Chocolatine, he's definitely proven to be quite a force in that top lane. That is something that New Exalt going to have to watch out for. Synonym ends up getting exhausted here. The auto attacks are going to take it out. Snugglebear falling very low himself. Mycroft going in with the flash. Auto attack not going to secure it. Snugglebear is going to be headed back to lane, and the bottom ranked team in the league right now is up by 3 and 1,000 gold. 5.5 minutes in.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me.
Can I be honest with you?
Be honest.
Be honest with you?
Be honest.
That was ugly.
That was UGLY ugly.
No alibi, ugly.
No alibi. Zero alibis. OJ Simpson style alibis.
Those aren't very good.
I did not realize that Flash was on that button, alibis. Bad news space.
You know, if it's ugly and it works, then
Oh.
Odin's Son ended up getting charmed out here. Space Curtains is here for the gank mid lane. Doesn't end up connecting with the anchor toss. Gonna have to back up and head back into his own jungle. Odin's Son sitting very low on health and mana. Looks like Space Curtains going to be covering for him in that mid lane.
So Nautilus was trying to make a gank happen, but because of that, took a little bit too much of the XP, and because of that, Lissandra didn't hit 6, and that honestly kept Wilson Jones alive. Because if Lissandra was 6 there when he went in and got snared like that, he would have been dead. The ult follow-up damage, plus the extra Q, plus Nautilus cleanup, I mean, he was dead. So he got very lucky that Lissandra was still level 5 and that he had a level advantage.
Definitely worked out very fortunate for him. Of course, Odin's Son heading back to lane. He's going to be bringing that catalyst, and he's just focusing on sustaining out, trying not to feed to Wilson Jones. Wilson, well-known diamond player in the league, and Odin's Son ended up finishing gold 5 last season. So what he wants to do is play it safe, sustain out, farm as much as he can, and try to get to the mid game. I think Rebel Force's strengths really are going to be shown in the mid game. Big worry for them going into this was just holding their lanes. But if you take a look at the matchups, really Rebel Force doing quite well in the lane phase as well.
Well, you know, they don't have a single lane that I think is a bad lane or counter. I think their worst lane is this Vayne Corki lane. They might get a kill here. Nope. Good flash for Jenna.
Wenger ended up having a flash away from that one. Odin's Son going in. Wilson Jones going in on Odin's Son here. Odin has to flash out of that one. Great dodge on the Q, but ended up getting tagged on the reverse end of it.
That was really, really close. That was really, really close. Unfortunately, he got hit by a charm, and he couldn't dodge the return, the Q return. But other than that, he was fine. Now gank bottom.
Sinful Baggins flashing in, gets the ult up on Snugglebear.
He's dead. That's a dead Vayne.
That is a dead Vayne. Snuggle gonna be headed back to base the quick way there. Unfortunately, that trip going to cost him about 300 gold.
Yeah, and what's sad about that is that actually Janna and Vayne were both about 1 or 2 creeps away from hitting 6. And if Vayne is 6, she can't be targeted. Janna can ult them away. I mean, I think that there's no scenario where they don't live if they're 6, but they were just 2 minions away. So that was really fortunate because Vi blew the flash for that too.
A lot of summoners ended up getting blown in that engagement. Definitely working out well for the new Exalt. Rigel has stopped feeding in the top lane so far. Chocolatine not able to score another kill on him in the past 4 or 5 minutes or so. And it looks like, though, Rebel Force going to be able to secure the first dragon of the game. So that's big.
Yeah, the dragon will be nice. The first dragon doesn't really do a whole lot, but just the fact that in this game,
Odin ends up face-checking the brush here. Space Curtain's going to be there to back him up. Wilson dealing plenty of damage for both of them. The lockdown coming from Space Curtains here. The ward over the wall will spot Wilson Jones out, and he's going to have to back up off of this. And Simple Baggins coming in with the assist, though. Rigel getting out-traded in the top lane. Chocolatine still doing what he does up there, but I think Rigel's resolved himself to stop dying for now. I think he's realized this matchup's pretty well lost. He's going to have to just farm under turret.
it's not lost, but it will be if he dies right here. And he's gonna die.
And that's the death. Chocolatine getting his 3rd kill of the game. Definitely performing well for his team. Simple Baggins in enemy territory here. Has to back out once Snugglebear finds him. He's going to be sent back to his own jungle. good catch by Snugglebear. It's going to leave Space Curtains with a little more breathing room once he heads back to farm. Of course, he did end up losing his Gromp, but Snugglebear secured that one for him. Chocolatine working on this tower in the top lane.
So, the best way that this Jax can get back in the game is if he actually gets... Oh, look at this. This might be a dead Janna.
Wanger gets caught out. Odin's Son there to back him up. The Simple Baggins with the ultimate.
That was a good ult. Oh.
Odin's Son with a great ult, but
Really
doesn't have the support from his team in order to turn that one around. So double kill going to be going over to Wilson Jones. Wilson definitely not the one you want to be giving the kills to. That equalizes the kill total, gold virtually even at this stage.
No, and that's definitely the problem with Ahri, is that she's so strong right now. Just the changes have made her such a devastating mid, where she can pretty much duel anybody. She has no bad matchups. Just the speed bonus that the Q gives her just lets her dodge anything, and just the high mobility. I don't think that she has a weakness, really. I think she's pretty much as powerful as she's ever been.
She's definitely a priority pick or ban for a lot of teams now. And Wilson Jones has a fair bit of experience playing her prior to when she got a lot of attention. Ooh. Space Curtain's going in hard on a Wilson Jones now. Odin's Son bringing up the side, forces the flash away. Wilson Jones going to be headed back to the safety of his territory. But flash burned, so all in all, not a bad game.
So actually, you know that Ahri has the highest win rate right now in solo queue at 57%.
57%.
57% win rate in solo queue. And actually, the second highest, I believe, is Nidalee Jungle. I think Nidalee Jungle is the second highest. Or maybe it's Nidalee Mid.
Probably the jungle. I've been seeing Nidalee do some stupid work in the jungle. She just, she has the ability to duel anybody she comes across.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think Riot kind of messed up her what is it called? Aspect of the Cougar. I think that it's way too powerful. Just the amount of resets that it gets the pounce reset, it gets the Q resets. It's just way too strong. And it's still too easy to hit spears. Spears, man, those things move too quick for how much damage they do.
Nidalee just one of those champions that has always been pretty much throughout history a big threat. Got toned down a little bit after the rework, but still, I mean, the versatility and her kit's just so amazing. She can do so many things.
This top lane brawl, this is gonna go poorly. Yeah, Jax decides to peace out, but it's too late. He's dead.
Rigel ends up giving the 4th kill of the game over to Chocolatine, and at this point, the new Exalt have to formulate a plan to deal with this. Chocolatine's getting out of control. You take a look at what he's got built so far, and he's just dictating the pace up there, and Rigel just can't even stand anywhere next to him. Chocolatine ends up eating the charm on that one, but he's healthy enough, he's going to make it out.
Well, at least all these kills aren't going on a hyper late game scaling mage like, I don't know, Vladimir. Oh wait, no, they are. Yeah, they're all going on Vladimir, so that's going to be big troubles.
Chocolatine going to do his best to put his team on his back and carry them to victory. A win here would be a huge upset for the new Exalt. I do not think they expected to go into this and see this much competition being put out.
Alright, so this is like a fun fact, and this is based on my experience, so don't take this as like obviously something that I heard from a professional, because I'm making it up as from my experience. But when you play the Jax versus Vlad matchup, or anyone versus any kind of like AP overtime poke, like, you know, so not like Vlad, Rumble, Lissandra, what you need to do, this doesn't work against Cassiopeia, but what you need to do if you're melee is you need to get a Hex Drinker. You need to rush that item, and what you need to do is you show up the lane and you all in. So we got a team fight then.
Odin's Son going in, ends up getting burst pretty hard. Space Curtains was there with him, but that leaves Wanger all alone as the tower falls. Snuggle Bear arriving too late to the fight. Just not going to be able to play cleanup there. That was a 5-man assault on a turret. Really no more than 2 members of Rebel Force were active during that fight at any given time. That just allowed New Exalt to completely demolish. They took that turret out. They're setting themselves up for Dragon, and this could be where they pull ahead and where that skill differential really comes into play.
Alright, so we made a great call. We realized that Drax was going to lose this top lane if we just let it be the status quo. We realized that there was like heavy pressure being put on this Ahri. They're trying to shut her down. So what they did was they just pulled their entire team to mid. They secured the tower. What Rebel Forces should have done is just noped out of there, gave them the tower, and said, okay, we were unprepared for this fight. We're going to peace out. But instead, with like 2.5 or 3.5 members, they decided that they were going to try and hold this dying tower. And that set off a pretty dangerous chain of events that resulted in, what was it, a 3 for none?
3 for none. Nobody ended up falling on New Exalt side. So they've got themselves a 2,500 gold lead right now. And if Rebel Force want to continue being a competitive team in this game, they are going to have to avoid situations like that, because that was just downright sloppy. That engagement had no reason to take place on that turret, and Rebel Force really ended up paying for it.
Yeah, that's the product of, you know, maybe the nerves, maybe the miscommunication, but this team's played pretty well so far this game, so I expect it to be just a hiccup, and I don't think that it's all going to go down the drain, but this level 11 Ahri is definitely going to be a problem.
Well, Wilson Jones racking up 5 kills, 122 farm at not even 18 minutes. Sinful Baggins ends up getting found by Space Curtains here. The anchor going to bring him in close, but him and Wanger deciding to back up out of that one. Snuggle Bear putting some good damage down onto this turret. Going to get the backup from Space Curtains and Wanger. Odin's Son just sticking around, so it looks like a 4-man assault going to be brewing down here, but Odin deciding to head back up mid and challenge Wilson Jones.
I want it. She's going in. Ooh, nice dodge by Vayne. Nice condemn, actually.
Snuggle Bear ends up getting Vi-ulted, but
Corki goes in. He's going to pay for that. Oh, no,
Corki
maybe
grabs
not.
the kill there. Odin's Son gets stunned by Rigel Q. The damage from those rockets coming down hard. Rigel Q very low now. Gonna have to be careful. Odin can pick him up. Janna has the opportunity to get the kill there. Not going to secure it. That auto attack brought him so low. Just not going to happen. That's a 3-1 exchange in favor of the New Exalt. And look at Wilson Jones. He has pushed all the way up to this inhibitor turret. They did all of that work without him while he was pushing the mid lane. I think this really doesn't look good for Rebel Force.
Yeah, I mean, the problem that they have is that they look good, especially in the early game, but that's based on all of the kills and all the money really going into Vlad. I mean, Vlad is sitting on 7,100 gold. The next closest person on their team is Vayne at 5,600, and then it starts to dip into the 4,000s. So, really, this game is heavily on the shoulders of this Vlad to carry, and they're not going to carry if he is just going to go top and farm that up, and you know, those towers are gone now. So they really need him to start grouping and try and force some uneven team fights. But he might get caught here. No, that charm is close.
Charm just whipping at the back end of Chocolatine there. Very close. He had to feel that over his shoulder.
He heard the footsteps.
TNE look like they're mounting an offensive in this mid lane, going to try to push for their first inhibitor of the game, and Chocolatine is broke off from that top lane. Going to be joining his team here. Let's see if he ends up making it. Right now, Mycroft and Baggins are scouting out for him. They want to catch him before he has the option to respond, and Rigel Q coming up Riverside to join his team. Chocolatine made it back to the top lane. Might not be where he wants to be at this point. The middle lane is pushed all the way back to the inhibitor turret, and this could end up being bad for Rebel Force. The charm does miss. Wilson Jones gets locked down.
This is ugly.
Space Curtain's caught up in the middle, though, not able to do a whole lot, and Snugglebear just gets jumped on by Rigel. Odin's Son gets a great stun on Rigel there, but Rigel plenty healthy to endure that, and that is a 3-for-0 exchange. Chocolate Team coming in with the 5-man ult here. Has to flash away, just barely dodges the Corki. Ends up getting the shutdown on him, really impressive.
He flew a little bit too close to the tower. A lot of that was tower damage, actually, I guess. But, you know, if Rebel Forces keeps fighting without their Vlad, oh man, this is masterful Lissandra fading, by the way. But if they keep fighting without their Vlad, these fights are going to get to the point where you just roll over and this Vlad becomes, like, inconsequential, because all the like advantages that he has go wasted when he's going top. Like, you have all the towers top. Like, I understand that you want to farm it up, but like this blue team, this new Exalt, man, they do not look like they are putting the brakes on. They have the pedal all the way to the floor. They know that they have the advantage, and they're just pushing it. And when you don't have teleport as a top laner, you gotta group. You can't just go off and farm and slip up. You gotta be with the team.
Yeah, when you got your opponent in a chokehold, the last thing you want to do is loosen your grip. I really don't think the new Exalt have any plans to do that. I think they've found their stride here, and they're going to keep pressing it until something gives or they win the game.
Yeah, and I think this team fight is going to go pretty poorly for Rebel Force here. I think that they're looking for a team fight because they have Vlad. They think that they're strong now that it's going to be a 5v5, but this is gonna end very, very poorly for them. They're up against. I mean, this Jax is starting to be relevant. He's got good items. They have the Aegis on Vi. They have a lot of the items that they need in order to win this, and I think that if it comes down to it, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Ward getting cleared out by Rebel Force. Not going to mean a huge difference. If they start this dragon, TNE are going to engage on them, but neither side really wants to give this up. Central Baggins going in now. Odin's Son ends up getting blown up with 200 health left. Pops the ultimate. The back line is getting targeted by Chocolate Team. Has to pop the Zanyas. He's going to die for the first time this game. Snugglebear not even in this fight. Finds Wilson Jones, but Wilson gets the charm off. Flash from Chocolate Team. Not going to keep him safe. A 5-for-1 exchange. That is the new Exalt pulling out and getting completely ahead. Rebel Force, I don't see what they can do to put up a defense at this point.
Too little, too late. By the time they got 5 people to actually group, it was just too late. And what they needed to do was to give up that dragon, because that is dragon number... What is that? Is that Ghost?
Dragon number 2.
Yeah, that's the second dragon. That dragon doesn't mean anything. Like, that means that sometime before 40 minutes they might have all 5 dragons, but that's not your concern when you're running a Vlad, Vayne, Lissandra comp. I mean, your concern isn't getting the dragons. Your concern is trying to farm up, stay alive, and just keep all your structures up before 40 minutes, because I think you get to a point where if you're not that far behind, you basically auto-win. So, I think it was just probably poor shot calling going for that objective. They had the Scuttle Crab, which gave them a little bit of advantage in having the move speed, but ultimately just, man, that was just the kiss of death pretty much on their team and their chance of winning this game, I think.
Really unfortunate fight for Rebel Force. I think they should have reevaluated their decisions there. Giving that slight movement speed buff over to the new Exalt, not that bad. Giving 5 kills over to him, bad. Really bad.
Yeah, and that's just something that teams sometimes will do that aren't as experienced or don't have the best shot calling. Do you think that just because they're there to fight, that they need to fight, or that there's an objective to take that they need to take it? And it's like, that's not necessarily always the case. I mean, they're up against a Corki who's got Trinity Force, i.e., they have a legendary Ahri, they have a Vayne, a Vi, and a Jax who's pretty much brought himself back into the game. There's, this gank though is going to be disastrous. Yeah, he's dead.
Chocolate Team gets engaged on, has to pull away, and the final hour by Snugglebear.
Vayne's getting priority though. Vayne is getting priority. She's doing what she wants in the back.
Rigel ends up taking Vlad down. Snugglebear gets blown up by the remaining members of Blue Team, and that fight going a little better for Rebel Force. Still not to their advantage. That was the fight they needed to fight 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, 15 minutes ago.
Even
to be honest,
ago.
To be honest, it's the fight that they need to never make. Like, Corki, his power spike is here. It's now. Ahri, the power spike is now. Like, Ahri has single target damage, and she has to be able to go through Lissandra. She has to go through a Nautilus. She has to go through a Janna. So, as we get later in the game, if she doesn't have that huge power spike, she's going to be irrelevant. But unfortunately for Rebel Forces, they gave up too many kills, and they didn't wait for their comp to form. I mean, this is a late game comp. They have Vayne, they have Vlad. They need to not fight. Unfortunately, right there, they got caught, and it made it look good because no one actually engaged on the Vayne. I think Vi didn't have ultimate yet. Ooh,
Wilson Jones ends up finding space curtains out that fail flash. Not going to get him anywhere. Wanger goes in trying to back up his teammate, but it looks like that's going to set up T&E for a Baron attempt.
That poor sweet child.
Rocket damage. Odin's son just getting torn in half.
Yeah, but that's Corki, man. That's the mid-game Corki. I mean, he's fed. He's got them critties. Oh, this Janna. Sweet child number 2. Oh, baby girl.
Not a good time to go looking for the enemy team. Just another kill going over to the new Exalt.
Vlad is doing it as well. He's searching for... Okay, so here's another fun tip. When you can't contest the dragon, you don't need to ward the dragon. All you need to do is try and get a little ward action in your jungle, and you move with your team, and you just give up this Baron. I'm sorry, I was saying dragon. Baron. You gotta give up the Baron. It's their Baron. You can't contest it. You fight them with Baron. That's your only hope. Especially in these, in this season change where Baron doesn't give you the health regen. It's actually somewhat doable to be able to fight them while them with Baron. It's not as bad as it used to be. You just got to concede this. You don't need to ward things. You don't need to go full Dora the Explorer and like looking for the enemy team. So little mistakes like that has really cost them this game, I think.
And it's a shame, because they were really performing quite well in the early game. But I think New Exalt knew how to graciously lose in that early game and transition into this mid game. Rigel took a little bit too long to figure that out, and I think against a team that's going to give them more of a challenge, that is a weakness they're going to have to shore up. But I don't know.
You say graciously lose. I say Wilson Jones put this game on his back. He's the Greg Jennings of this game for sure. Put the team on your back.
Wilson is arguably one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, and he's always somebody to watch out for. I think giving him Ahri was a big mistake. I think Ari's a great ban all the way around, and just letting that one slide, it's really coming back to bite Rebel Force.
Oh, this
Wanger ends up getting found here. That's going to be an easy kill for Wilson Jones. Going in onto Space Curtains here. Look at that damage onto a tank. Double kill ends up going over to him. That's going to leave this tower wide open for New Exalt if they decide to push it down.
Homie, 57%. Ahri is broke. You could give this champion to my cat. His name is Mr. Mittens. He could play the shit out of Ahri, okay? Ahri is just a broken champion right now. No champion gets a 57%. And just so happens that all the people who play her are just like really skillful about it. But look at this engage here.
5-man ult from Chocolate Team. Not going to do very much. This tower going to end up falling. So is Chocolate Team. Odin's son in the middle gets a kill there. Snugglebear trying to take out Wilson Jones, ends up trading his life for him. Odin's son flashes in on 3 members, and the
That's a penta.
pentakill
The penta.
going over to the guy who fed top lane, who chain fed top lane. That's just how these games go.
The penta fight. GG.
First game of the night going in favor of the new Exalt.
Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
Really great effort from Rebel Force there, being their first game in the league.